Materia Ture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What a bizarre argument to say that we should not be addressing the very real needs that we see every day in the schools in this country. Hungry kids are coming to school and they are unable to learn, and some bizarre argument being laid out by Claudette Hoeti on saying this is somehow the rejection of rangatiratanga is just ridiculous. Tell that to the children who are hungry and who need to be fed. Now, my apologies, Mr. Speaker, for the passion, but this is just not acceptable to have this kind of argument being played out in this House. What we know is that children are going to school hungry and need to be fed. We are a parliament that has responsibility for the well-being of the people in this country, including our children. We have a responsibility to put children at the heart of all the decisions that we make in this parliament, and we fail to do that over and over. This legislation gives us one more opportunity, an opportunity that's already been lost tonight with the paid parental leave debacle we've seen earlier this evening. This is a second opportunity tonight for this parliament to say our children come first. Our children's needs come first, and we will do what it takes to make that happen. The Green Party is proud to support this bill. We also have proposed a school lunch fund to help provide assistance to those families, those children, and to the schools and teachers and principals and community that are affected, to make sure our kids don't go hungry, because we know that a child who is well fed, is ready to learn. And if we want to combat the effects of poverty on our communities, we must make sure our kids get the best possible education. Therefore, we have an obligation to remove the barriers that prevent them from doing so. And hunger is a barrier to kids learning. So, this legislation sets out one method for achieving that aim of protecting our children, as we are obliged to do as members of Parliament. We listen to the prayer every day in this House when we are sitting in this chamber that asks us to put the well-being of the people of this country ahead of all else. Do we take that seriously or not? Now, the Green Party proposal for a school lunch fund is slightly different from this one, and it was set out in our Schools as Community Hubs paper. And Catherine Delahunty and I and other Green MPs have been very proud to travel the country talking with schools about those proposals that includes a school lunch fund. Our design of the fund would be so it's available for children in schools from decile 1 to 4, so a slight extension from this legislation, and where the schools are able to use that money to best provide the lunch for their own kids as they see fit. Some communities have got great relationships with businesses who will donate food. Other schools will have, that's right, Catherine Delahunty, this is about schools exercising their rangatiratanga, their choice, their control. Other schools have community gardens where they need someone to help with the production of that food, so that the kids themselves are actually, along with parents and volunteers, are turning that into lunches. They're working together, cooking together and sharing food together. So our plan would be to provide that fund to schools to use as they best see fit to provide lunch to their kids in the way that best meets the needs of those children, because those communities know what their problems are and they know how to devise the solutions to those problems. Now, that is it's very similar to the proposals that are put out in this bill, and we would very much like to see it go to Select Committee so that we can have the discussion on how we should meet the responsibilities as a collective, as a country, for the needs of our kids. The best situation would be, of course, that we don't need this. That would be the preferable. So that's why we need a living wage. That's why we need decent benefits so families can survive. That's why we need sustainable jobs and an environment that is clean and healthy so we can go and collect our own kai, knowing that it's safe for our kids and ourselves to eat. In the meantime, until we get to that point, because we are not there yet, we must make sure that no child suffers for the neglect that we have seen for their families over decades. That neglect is our responsibility to fix, and this legislation gives us one more opportunity to do so. Let's not waste it. Thank you.
Tracy Martin.
Kia ora, Mr. Speaker. I rise on behalf of New Zealand First to support this bill through first reading to Select Committee, and we do